Sorta. We got upstairs furniture, and then we moved it downstairs.
I got you.
It's not enough air space.
Is there a certain amount?
I'm at the store, and she sells it, or we pull furniture out of the store and set it up in the house.
You stage the house for
Yeah,
a
yeah.
holiday.
And it's all brightly pink and green. That's what she said.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is just about 7:40, so as I like to say, it's showtime for us to introduce our president, Vince Billinger, to kick off our meeting.
Thank you, Cleo. If you all please join me. Rise, if you care to do so, please join me in saluting our flag and signing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a timer today. Would anybody care to step up and be the timer today?
All volunteer, guys.
All right, great. So now, do you have an opening invocation for us today, Mr. Chair? Oops, forgot about that.
Forgot about that.
We have a hope with a bunch of things.
Yes. I will.
Something valuable from your point of view will be good.
Luckily, our past member, keep looking at buying time for you. Past member James Brown has an invocation for us that he has thought out well in advance. Now that we've had time to
It's
think
in the
about it.
book. Do we have the book?
Okay, so it's. Yeah, bring it.
It's on the book. It's on the book. You remember this book has been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
So today's information, winning requires getting up off your affirmation.
All right. Beautiful news from this meeting. You may all be seated. Welcome. This is the part of the meeting where we like to welcome guests. We do have a very welcome guest. His name is James Brown. He's a previous member. Tell us, who are you? What brings you here? And what brought you back?
So, as Vince mentioned, I'm Jim Brown. I've only been a couple of years. Yeah, it's been a couple of years since I've been here. I had a couple of job changes, and I was doing a lot of traveling, and it was difficult to make it. But I've changed back to being more local and trying to get back into the TechMasters.
Phenomenal. Great to have you back.
Yeah, good to see you back.
I don't know why Will gave you the bell, but he did. Do we have the minutes from the previous meeting, Mr. Secretary?
No, we do not. I was absent for the last year.
You have old business? Any new business anybody cares to bring up? Don't worry, Jim Andy covered. So, any discussion items?
I have one,
Alex?
thank you, Mr. President. Can you put schedule on a display? So everybody, as you can see, we have now more members. Thanks for activity by Vince. Yes, yeah, exactly. So we have more members that we, I think, can go back to 3 speakers per day. If anyone seconded, or we can think about it. So we can have with 3 speakers per day is more competition and overall.
Second.
Yeah. So if we, thank you, Brad. Do we need to discuss it or?
That's typically the way things work, right, Mr. Parliamentarian?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Is there any, so we have a second. We have a motion on the floor to move back to 3 speakers. We have a second. Is there any discussion on the matter?
If Mr. Parliamentarian stop looking at the mobile device and participate in discussion.
You're out of order, sir. I'm sorry.
Mr. President, I think 3 is a higher number than 2, therefore I am in favor.
Wow, this is an interesting case. Do you have anybody who disagrees that 3 is more than 2? Mike, yes.
Contrary to public opinion that I may not be actually tuned into the actual conversation at hand, I do like to expound and kind of offer a few tidbits, thoughts, words of wandering that help us to kind of bring together a real coherent kind of thoughts. And I think that we need more of that in today's society, with all of the things going on, with all of the turmoil and the changes, earthquakes and whatnot, that we are really going to step forward and try to set that bar and really go after something that's a new lofty goal of 3 speeches in a single meeting, I think is going to depend on participation at the meeting, that we have at least 10 to 12 people present in order to really pull that off, which then comes back to, we set the goal and hopefully try to go there, but to make it the standard for the schedule, I don't know that this is actually even a piece of business as much as just a discussion item. Mr. President, respect this.
So, because earthquakes, no?
I didn't say no.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hopefully logical, constructive, useful? Right again.
Well, I agree with Mike. I will say that it would be interesting to see if we could actually pull off the speakers, and timing will become much more important. So it might actually be good for us from a public perspective to try to get back to that.
Yeah,
I agree.
we can think about like April is a month, kind of considering it, and started really in May, for example. But point is that we have enough members now. We have people who are present and have no roles. So that was an idea to come back to.
I like the idea of maybe waiting a month. And of course, you being the Vice President of Education, you are the dictator of such things, so you can just start putting people back. Any further discussion on the matter? I think I agree with Mike that we're going to remove this as an order of business and just have it as a topic of discussion. What does that mean? It's not table. What is that like? Remove? What do we call that, Mike? Yes. Remove. It's not business anymore.
It's been tabled.
Huh?
Tabled.
Table. Okay. All right. Any other announcements? I have a couple things here. 2 days, the Division J Tabletop International Speech Contest. I spoke with Sue Ann Rollins, and she says that I will not have to show up today for the tabletopics or as the runner-up at the area contest. I did not inquire as to the speaker contestant from ours, so Mike might have to show up. And it is very close. It's at US Bank 1 Meridian Crossing over there. And so that's tonight at 6 o'clock. You can show up early for free food and schmoozy and stuff like that. And we have the .NET Youth Group on Thursday. Apparently I'll be speaking on reactjs.net. So if you're interested in React and you are forced to use .NET, you should show up and find out how you can do those sorts of things. The Value of Enterprise Architecture by AEA is being put on by Tony. Is he here? Well, I would ask him to speak to it, but so it's an architecture event that Tony's involved in that group. And Friday, April 8th at 9 a.m. at the Nerdery. There's the bit.ly link to sign up. And Mike's Global Azure Bootcamp is next Friday. Free event, 8:30 to 4:30 at Improving Enterprise at the corner of France and 494. Anything you wish to mention on that, Mike?
It's up and ready, so register there.
Very cool. And of course, Twin Cities Code Camp the next Saturday, another free event. We have we'll be having a booth, so it'd be really nice if anybody would like to help me out. Is there anybody who would be interested in joining? Yeah, anybody else that wants to? Yeah, even if you're just going to go for part of the day and just stop by, whatever, help me in, whatever. And of course, I go to all the sessions. I just show up in between. One thing I mentioned to Brett, I thought was a good idea, is I think we should pass out. I don't know if I need an order of business for this, but I think we should pass out the coupons or something, where maybe an at-cost membership or something for people who go to code camp, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that. I'll second that.
No. So should we make that business? I don't know.
Yes.
You think yes?
I think that might be an executive.
And just get to dictate that? Awesome.
I'd like to refer to the committee.
Refer to a committee.
Yeah.
I didn't say. Okay, well, then I will take that off. Any other announcements before you get going?
I don't have an announcement, but something I wanted to bring up. A while back, someone, I don't remember who it was, proposed that we have written evaluations for speakers.
Like you.
And I thought we had some forms. I would like to do that, present that, because looking back over your feedback, for me, has been very helpful. We can tell that my manual is stuff full of evaluations.
Yeah, if we have them, I've sent them out. I print them from time to time. And it looks like we're out, so I will print them and bring them next week.
We do have this form on our website, so you can download, print it, and have in your portfolio.
Alright, so awards tracker, get out your manuals. If you have your manuals with you, if you don't, please bring them next week. Did anybody get any manual speeches last week? Okay, so when you give speeches, try to make them apply to manuals so we can take this counter down. You did?
I get to go to Green. A couple of weeks ago, I did my last speech.
Oh, man. Okay, so I will update that, and so we're involved to change colors and stuff. So, great, awesome, good news. And do we have that into the Vice President of Education?
We will talk about it in the break.
So today's Toastmaster is the previously speaking just several seconds ago, a longtime member, not quite as long as I thought. I just been so used to him here and think of him as a pretty highly valued member. And please help me welcome today's Toastmaster, Bill Austin.
Thank you, Vince, for that introduction. As he said, today I am the Toastmaster. And I sent out an email, I don't know if everybody got it, but I wanted today's theme to be about regeneration, renewal of life, vigor, those kind of things. The reason for that is we just moved into a different house, and there's a little flower garden in the front that to me looked pretty neglected. There's rocks in there now, and looks like they kind of landscaped it for not a flower bed. But there's some, being that it's spring, there's some plants that are coming up, and every day when I walk out, I look down at this flower garden, and I can see these plants coming up, and they're pushing these giant rocks out of the way, and the little green leaf is slowly coming out of the ground. So it always kind of invigorates me, I guess, that, hey, there is something under there. I wasn't aware of it, and it's working really hard to get its way out. Spring, renewal of life. So with that, I'll go to our introductions for our roles, and our first role is Court Jester. Leanne is our Court Jester this morning. So I'll have you stand up, introduce your role, and give us a little levity to start the meeting.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Welcome. Toastmasters and guests this morning, or were you guests? So I'm Leanne Valella, and my plan this morning, being first time Court Jester, was I have a series of technology jokes, and I'm going to keep telling them until you guys laugh. All right, we're done. How do you comfort a JavaScript bug? You console it. All right, Dev1 saw a strange JavaScript function and asked, "What is this?" Dev2 responded, "I don't know, I would have called you, but I was in a bind." All right, we're getting worse. Why was the JavaScript developer sad? Because he wanted to make a what?
Did not keep promise.
Oh, sorry, hang on, I messed up. Because he didn't know how to express himself. All right, final one. We're going down. Why did the software company hire drama majors from Starbucks? Because they needed JavaScript experts. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. I especially enjoyed how you introduced the developers as Developer 1 and Developer 2. Next role is our 1-minute Toastmaster. Today that's Vince. He'll be giving us a short little speech on how to improve our speeches, I believe. Vince?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. We, in the spirit of the theme, which I totally got in advance and fully prepared for, we have a handful of new members, and we are growing our club. And as such, I wanted to mention, not only do I take all of my 1-minute Toastmasters from the Toastmaster agency, which you will be getting in the mail if you are a new member, and you will be getting that monthly, and it's jam-packed full of wonderful tips and tricks and things like that to improve your Toastmaster experience. As you can see, it's fairly thin, so you can get rid of these not some giant tome worth 98% of its garbage. Really good to have a couple of really cool articles each time. And one of them I thought was very interesting for new members is how to survive your icebreaker. I'm going to kind of summarize it because I have less than a minute, right? It says, when writing your speech, create an interesting beginning and ending and memorize them. If you think you'll need notes, write a brief speech outline on note cards. And you can put them on the lectures so that you can see them, maybe in that pulpit. Practice the talk until you are comfortable with it. Remember that you know the content quite well because you're just talking about yourself. You don't really need to stare at your notes. Relentless. Everybody's going to be nervous. Just do your best. Begin by facing the Toastmaster, saying Mr. or Madam Toastmaster. Face the audience and say, ladies and gentlemen, or fellow members and guests. Pause and then begin your speech. While speaking, make eye contact. You're not really connecting with every single person, but at least you can pretend you are. Make them think they're involved. You're not, but you can pretend, right? And after you say your concluding words, nod at the Toastmaster and say, Mr. or Madam Toastmaster. Enjoy the applause. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Vince. Next role we'll move to is grammarian, and today's grammarian is Gwen. Gwen is not here today. Do I have a stand-in for grammarian? Anybody with a word of the
You should
day?
slide to the timer, and then maybe somebody will have a word of the day by the end of it.
Go to the timer. Okay. Today's timer is Jim, who is a stand-in for Nick. Jim, since you are a previous Toastmaster, please stand up and introduce your role.
So today I'll be the timer, and as I recall, I will be timing both the speech, well, all three, the speech, the evaluation, and the table topics. I will use these cards to signal when the minimum time has been reached, and then the yellow card will be when we go to the medium amount of time, and then red will be when we get our max amount of time. We'll be using the stopwatch to keep track of those things. I'm not sure what the use app is. Is that I'm old school? I'm using the cards and not the app. Is there an app now?
Yep.
We do have an app.
Okay.
But
As long as you indicate to speaker,
We'll indicate the
yes, this is
speaker,
good
the
enough.
card. Forget anything. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And just a reminder, your role is to hit that bell when people use crutch words such as so, like, those kind of things. And
Do we have a grammarian?
It's for grammarian. That was for grammarian.
Next, the grammarian.
Nick is the grammarian. Okay, ma'am, please stand up and tell us about your role.
Okay, well, as a grammarian, I'm going to introduce the word of the day. And the word of the day today will be, let's see. In principle. Okay. So this is how you spell it. The spelling actually is very important here. Principle, I think it's like this. Not to be confused with the principle, like in school. And principle means, as a general idea. So we can say, like, the example of the word would be, in principle, it's a good idea. So kind of like, I agree with you in principle, right? So what I'll do as a grammarian, I will encourage you guys to use the word of the day. And I will also be counting the ahs and the ams. And I gotta tell you, you're gonna be safe because I'm the worst at this, so I don't want to hear that. So you should be good. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. The next role will be Table Topics Master. And today's Table Topic Master is a pretty good friend of mine, someone that I've known for a very long time. I remember the first time that I actually seen this person was during a webcast, and I watched it circa 2009 with a friend of mine from SDG. So, Mike, please stand up, introduce your role.
Thank you, William, and welcome Toastmasters in the role of Topic Master. Yes, it is my job to drive that part of the meeting where we do the impromptu speaking, stand up and have some fun with that. I know that Clea and Jesse are speakers today, and I know that other people have roles. So I'm going to try to pull in people who are either have no role or don't have a lot of stuff going on, and we've got until 8:10, which gives me almost 9 minutes, so we can cover almost everyone. Are we good with the guests, the former members, past members who have come back, Brian Q, Jim Brown, to participate? Sure, because we've all been through this, right? So I wrote a little app called TechMasters-TC.com, which is our website. It has on the front page table topic questions. I don't know if you've looked at it, but they scroll across the front page. And so, Matt, I wanted to ask you the first one. And all you have to do is refresh the page and get the question. The question is, if your life was to be described by a traffic sign, if your day was to be described by a traffic sign, what would that be?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. The question is, if my life was to be described by a traffic sign, what would that sign be? I think my life would most be described by a yield sign. I try to be accommodating, I guess, to other people when driving in traffic or when working as a part of a team. I try to work with other people and try to help them out as much as I can and answer questions and ask questions and try to communicate with them as best I can and try to be a good team member that way. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you, Matt. I will yield to the distinguished gentleman in the back row. Nick, your question is, if you were a spy, what would your alias be?
Well, I assume I can use my real name, can I? Okay, well, that's a really good question. Let me, I'm not gonna guess why you asked me that question, but I was watching some episode series, but, not gonna talk about that. Let me talk about the signs. That's a lot easier, that's a lot less controversial. So the sign would be describing my life. I guess that would be a no U-turn sign. Because I refuse to make a U-turn. I don't even care if I missed my directions and I've gone an extra few miles. I refuse to admit I did it wrong. Okay, so what I want to do, if I'm in the wrong way and I know I need to go back, I'll try the best of where I'm going now. Because, yeah, you might admit your failures, but at the same time, if you make a U-turn, it's kind of like, running in the same spot and not moving anywhere. So if you're going somewhere and you miss your turn and you keep going, this means you're on a new path and you have to, take advantage of that. You have to make the best of it. So my philosophy in life, do not make U-turns, do not regret about anything, just make new paths, find new outreaches out there, and enjoy it as you travel. Just make sure you have full tank of gas.
You got a full tank of gas, a pair of sunglasses, half a pack of cigarettes. 126 miles from Chicago. It's at night. It's dark out. We're wearing sunglasses. Jim Brown, tell us something that nobody else knows about you, or pick one of the previous questions.
So, something that no one knows about me is that I am actually a spy, and my code name is Nick J. Joe. It's my code name for a couple of reasons. One, it is quite confusing, right? So there's a lot of Nick J. Joes out there, and everyone knows that when you look at the last name, it's obvious how you pronounce it, which is very important when you want to keep a low profile as a spy. The other reason that I like that as a code name is that it's very easy for the handlers of the spies to remember. So we say, where's Nick? What's Nick doing? If we haven't heard from Nick in a while, let's contact Nick. Just rolls off the top. It's very easy for them. So that is the other reason that it works out there. And as a spy, I try and keep a low profile. And that's something that's also very important. Keep a low profile, or when you just sort of blend in and lines of problem. Pretty straightforward. And that is why that is my code name. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Mr. Hugh, if you will. We've had a lot of interesting questions so far this morning, and I'd really like to hear maybe something off the wall. What's your favorite way to waste time at work without getting caught?
Thank you, Toastmaster. My favorite way to waste time when I'm at work without getting caught is probably walking up to the water cooler or coffee dispenser, which is a lot of times where you see a lot of people go up to and socialize and talk with people, and it's a good excuse to get up and walk around and get a break, see who else might be looking to do the same thing, and it's acceptable in most clients or businesses, and it's amazing how much time sometimes some people, not me for one, spend at either of the water coolers or coffee coolers, spending the time and taking a break. So that's how I would spend my time for excuse. Thank you.
I think the water cooler is always a great way to spend some time if you don't take U-turns. However, sometimes you do. And Vince, if you could fly to a different time zone, which one would you fly to and why?
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master, fellow TechMasters, and honored guests. If I could fly to a different time zone, what would it be and why? And I had to pick one. Boy, I guess I would try to pick one of the off the wall ones. Recently, with the whole daylight savings time, I had been reintroduced to the concept, and I started looking into this. I just like doing that kind of thing, and going off on. You ever done the Wikipedia trial where you start clicking on this? All of a sudden, you're learning about 17th century French history or something. You're like, what? I was looking up guinea pigs. I don't understand. So I was looking up the different kinds of weird, quirky, time zone stuff, and I noticed that the vast majority of Arizona doesn't follow daylight savings time, except for the one part in the Northeast. Although there's another part inside that does again. It's weird. And I guess if I'm picking a time zone for that, I would pick China's time zone because they have one, even though it's like really giant. Huge. They should be spanning according to random people that met in England one day and decided that we all have these specific time zones. According to those people who think it's just anointing themselves changed the world and made the center of the universe branch new for whatever reason, they decided that China's supposed to have 5 time zones. China's screw that, we only have 1, even though so that means like they're wider than America, but like it would be like let's say somebody in Hawaii, it would be the same time as New York. It'd be kind of weird. So, like right now, it is 8:09. What if it were pitch black 3 hours ago? That would still be the same time in China, very often. So, I guess I would pick China just because it would always be the same time. I wouldn't have to worry about. I could travel 1,000 miles and still be the same time. And in principle, I like the idea of time zones. I just don't think that random global body people can just dictate it from, especially Greenwich. Thank you, Mr. Kid.
Leanne. How are you?
Good.
Good question.
We got the traffic sign one came up again, so I'm going to pick
Oh,
a different
okay.
one. Where would you like to retire to and why?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Toastmasters. So where would I like to retire to and why? I would definitely want to retire to Northern California. Probably San Francisco Bay area or north. It's definitely one of my favorite places.
Cost of living there.
Cost of living so cheap, you know. My net worth, not a problem. Anyway, it's one of my favorite cities. I think you have access to arts, culture, technology, nature, ocean, all the best things in life. Sunshine, a lot more sunshine. So again, I would pick Northern California.
And I have time for one more.
I have 8:10 on mine.
I have one other person who, Alex, that if I did have time, I would ask him a real quick question.
I would ask him.
All right, go for it.
Go for it. Okay, Alex. If there were a holiday in your honor, what would it celebrate?
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master. If there would be a holiday in my name, would it celebrate? Holiday in my name would celebrate liberty and justice. And if I can achieve something in that, it may be celebrated, but I would dedicate it to this purpose, because after all thinking, and by now, I think this is most critical portion of it. I would add one more word, business in it, but liberty, justice is most important at this time in second year. And if we describe a road sign, I would say it would be speed limit 75 miles, minimum 55. I found out recently on a road trip that 70 miles per hour is the magic number. When speed limit is 55, people still drive 70. And when speed limit is 75, people still drive 70. And this has puzzled me how it can be, but I observed it. We drove from Minnesota to East Coast and back, and it's true in many states. Speed limit 55, people driving 70. 75 people drive still 70. So there is something magic. So I would like to increase this to 75 on a well-built road, so people can be faster, and also they have liberty to drive it, but have justice, so they don't have to break a law, do not drive 55 when we can drive 70. Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
I look forward to our mission day so that I can drive 75 around the Twin Cities and have some fun with that. I'll turn it back now to our president and principal. Our Toastmaster will take us to the next phase of the meeting. Billy?
Thank you, Mike. Next, we'll take a small break. I'll ask the speakers and the general evaluator, as well as the evaluators, to come up front.
I'm Evaluator.
I turn it over to you.
Who are the speakers? You're the speakers?
Real. I have to leave early, so everybody is.
You guys are both there? So you have visualize? You have visualize, Jesse?
Yeah.
Forgot once we were trying to get. You first, you second,
Yeah.
Not too comfortable.
Unless you have breakfast.
Yeah, first, so that way we don't have to worry about hours.
Okay, sorry, you guys. Well, she's got visualize.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Mine are just.
So you're choosing.
You know, I'm just thinking, I do jobs to see the company. So just make sure that what I'm saying makes sense and that I'm.
Either way.
Describing it. Well, overall, like if I were.
How long are you
What I was saying, you would understand what we do. It's not that complicated.
So, I got idea. Audience can get idea what you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Blank check.
Sorry, so you bring.
Your mic ready yet?
It's gonna be a touch.
Did he give you a firm pressing down? Good job.
Good job. Yeah.
Well, it's a sleep line.
I would love to see we're just making your time. I would love to see.
What's the, oh, come on, computer. What's Wi-Fi training room, 5G? Password classroom. Got it.
I gave it to
It can be
Go first.
Yeah.
So it's actually
So he gets read at 9.
security. This will check email address. In Toastmasters
Where do I send it?
well, in if you want
Share. How do I share this? Share.
nobody else. Anyway, in our system, I don't have names. Also,
You go because I need to send this up. If that's okay.
Or the names are not available for, you don't need to be.
Cool.
Yeah, so let me know.
Yes.
Keep on.
Yeah, I know the picture. Okay. But it's essentially your first name, Gmail. Yes, yes. We only have one person who is paid but not on schedule.
Is yours a Mac too? Is yours a Mac too?
He's a government, yes,
No.
paid.
No.
For April?
Yeah, but Brad,
Yeah.
he falls if I
One day I'm
money.
Yes,
It's really?
I don't know why, but it
All right.
Well,
Who am I? How do I share this? Who am I sharing this to?
did. Yeah. Well,
If
Well, I
you
see.
want, you can send it to me and then I can bring it
Yeah,
up.
okay.
Okay. What's your email?
Jesse, JSSY,
I see.
Jesse Blue, JSSY, HOU.
This is like was very strange name. But everybody else in the war space.
Everyone's here.
It was this war spoke in
I know. Yes. Well, I emailed the woman.
Yeah, there it is.
But you see, if you measure, because there is no such letter in English alphabet, you cannot say, this is very good way to, if you can pronounce it. It's impossible. You cannot pronounce it.
We've been watching Americans too
Yeah.
Because when you write it here,
So it's. Can you imagine my master's?
Can you pronounce
Two of them. Yes, it's the
That's your reason. While you're talking, introduce Jesse. Sorry, the speakers.
Yeah.
When they're both guys, then. Yeah. We'll have one. Just, it'll be less weird. It'll be less weird. When he's introducing the general guy.
Showtime. I'll go
All right. Let's kick things off again. And to give our first speech, I will introduce a friend of mine who I've known for a very, very long time. I asked him, what is new in your life? I'm sorry? You go first, okay? Backtrack
You
a
can call
little
me your
bit.
friend too.
Our first speaker is also a friend of mine. I remember the first time that I met her, it was at a user group meeting. She was basically unknown to me. I recognized her as a new face. However, she has since become very well known in the technical community. And when I asked her what's new in her life, she said that she has just started a new job. So she's very excited about that. She's here today to talk to us about an introduction to Envisian. Please help me welcome Clea Levitz.
Yes, feels like just yesterday we were at some user group. So as many of you know, I've been kind of putting feelers out there for a new job, new career. I was doing staffing for 3.5 years, and I wanted to move into a different area, still within the technical community. Although I'm not a developer, so I could go down that road. What could I do? So recently I joined a company called Invisium, which is an application security company, focuses on a few different verticals, which I will share more and get into that and tell you what I do and see if you can help me. I am tasked with developing the Midwest for this company. They're out of the East Coast, and I will be covering everywhere from the Dakotas over to Michigan, down to Texas. So that's one person, that's a lot of territory, it's a lot going on. We're taking baby steps at a time. So, Invisium. Based out of DC, it was started by developers who then moved into security, who were consulting for a long time. Like most people who start companies, they thought they could do it better, offer something different, and so Invisium was created in 2009. All the consultants they have on the board are developers. They specialize in Java, .NET, some Python, we were talking about that earlier. Definitely mobile apps, getting into the IoT space, so really comprehensive in the application space. There's 4 areas of expertise. Assessments, so that's your regular coming in, figuring out where there's vulnerabilities within a code, finding a way to fix it. There's training, which has been a pretty popular subject, at least in my experience so far. A lot of people are interested in learning how to develop and code better, more secure applications. Code remediation, fixing what is potentially broken, and then secure development. So assessments are the bread and butter of our company. We do the basic assessments, static, dynamic, hybrid reviews, architecture, configuration, and assessment. There's also a new product that we are thinking about working on developing, which is a continuous security model. So this is integrating security along with the development process in an agile methodology. So 2 week sprints, review the code, upload it, fix it, and move forward. Little comic for everyone, because they're always good. Training, like I mentioned, is another area of growth for us, and it's something that's become very popular. If you know how to develop more secure code, you're going to have less bugs, and then ultimately you probably won't have to pay for a company like mine or one of our competitors to come in and fix what's going on. So there's a few different options. Online training, you can do an in-classroom training, you can have a combination of the two, and then choose your area that you want to learn about. So all of these trainings are specific to the language, whether you are .NET focused shop, Microsoft shop, if you're focusing on Java, if you only do mobile development, if you're only developing in the IoT space, all of these things will be covered, and they're taught by experts. Now the experts and the people who are doing these trainings are not only in the field as consultants working on client sites, but they're also speakers at conferences like AppSec or any of the major big time conferences. They're the ones talking and sharing their knowledge, and you're going to get up close and personal with them in a classroom. Code remediation, another way that we make our money. Like I learned once from someone here, most developers don't care that much about security. You care about pretty code and putting it up into a space. That's a huge generalization, but that is an area that we can help. So finding and fixing vulnerabilities, like I mentioned, everyone I work with comes from a developer background. They do development, and now they've learned how to develop more secure code so they can find and fix it. Secure development. Again, this is wraps into another series of what we offer, finding the vulnerabilities, finding and fixing them, working with your development teams to continuously improve the development process and make sure that your applications are safe, because no one wants to be the infamous target and have your data leaked and be part of that team. So just to summarize Invisium, if you didn't grasp what we do, if you use an outside firm to assess your applications, that could be us. If your team needs to learn how to develop more secure code, we can do that. And if you're looking for a partner to help bridge the gap between the pure security teams and the application development teams, that's what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Clea, for that speech on your new company. It does, it's like application type security. The next speaker is also a friend of mine. I've known him for many, many years. And when I asked him what was new, he said that he has been working very hard on landing a contract. It took him over a month, but he did finally sign that gig. So please help me welcome Jesse Gould.
All right, excuse me.
While Jesse gets set up, I'm going to fill in the dead air. Does anybody know who was in that first coding meme where it said, spent two weeks working on a bug? Does anybody know who that was?
I can't remember.
That was the creator of Quake. And he is a god in the programming world. He also did the rocket outside the atmosphere, the Project X team. Anyway, I will turn it back over to Jesse.
Very nice. Thank you for covering. So what's going on? This is actual words from a recent client of ours who was wondering what was going on with website backend processing. So as web programmers, we basically have a couple different ways that we can communicate progress to our users. You can use the browser. Window comes up, it's white screen, little twirly thing up here, right there, which kind of indicates something is going on but doesn't communicate it too well. Spinners are a little bit better. It's basically us giving a little bit more prettier of a touch saying something is going on in the back end. Then we have progress bars. I can't see it right there. It does a little bit more kind of communicating how far along in the progress we are. So I'm going to use a real world business scenario to communicate each of these and how SignalR has a huge benefit in helping to communicate these progress on backend services to clients. So this is an actual business requirement. As a system user, I want to upload a PDF document to annotate. So annotate is drawing squares or circles or pointers or whatever on top of something. In this process, we wanted to use Leaflet.js so we could take in tiles and allow them to zoom in, zoom out, pan left, pan right, as well as annotate. So from a backend process, what we had to do is we had to upload a PDF. Remember, PDFs can have multiple pages, so then we had to split out each of those pages. Then with each of those pages, so in this case 2, we zoomed in 100%, chopped it up into square tiles, zoomed in 200%, so basically leaving it vector-based at that point, and keeping it kind of crisp, and then chopping it up again, and then a third time, 300%, chopping it up a third time. So this would allow us to zoom in, zoom out. I'm not going to go into too much depth other than that. Just know that there was a lot of processing going on the back end. So at first we started with the browser, and we had a little upload box that clicked go. It'd do stuff in the back end, and it'd sit there, spin, 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 and the client was wondering what was going on, of course. So then we moved to a spinner, and spinners are a little bit better because they're basically us saying, well, you know, there's something going on, we're not hung up, we're not, you know, it's not stopped or anything like that. However, once again, he came back and said, well, great, but what's going on? So then we kind of switched over to progress bars, but with progress bars, the problem is client side and server side are completely disconnected. So what we had to do is we had to kind of take in what a normal time would be and say 45% of that is kind of the calculation that we came up with was the time it took to upload versus 55% was the time it took to do all that other stuff on the back end. Pure, you know, just us kind of, you know, testing it out and getting a kind of close number. However, this fell apart when you did like say a PDF with 1 page or a PDF with 10 or 20 pages or something like that, because it'll sit at 80% and then go on to the next process if it's 1 page, or it'll sit at 100% for the next 5 to 10 minutes and then finally go on. All right, So this is in general what he wanted. This top part being the client side, I'm uploading a file and we can, know how long that'll take. But then these things right here is the tiling process that's happening on the server. Kind of trying to explain that to a little bit more of a businessy person on the differences between client side versus server side, a little bit hard. So we started digging in and found obviously some of the things that SignalR has just baked in, WebSockets, long polling, so on and so forth. But then we thought, well, let's actually look at SignalR and see if that could potentially help us out here. All right, and that gets us to the coding part here. Yay. And let me kind of bring this up and just show you what the end kind of would look like. The simulator here. And I'm going to say something like this. So this is basically taking a request URL that's a PDF of a story. I'm sorry, a PDF here. And it's going to upload that PDF and hopefully cross fingers. So anyways, this first part right here is doing the client side, but then these right here are doing more server side, so servers communicating back to the client. Now in general, this is not too terribly easy because SignalR out of the box has communication that goes kind of sub-pub to where if something is happening on the server, whether it's a system process or something or another, that communicates to all users. Same thing with like say a chat client. If I'm typing in something and Brett is back there looking at his computer, I can type in something, he sees it. You see it, everybody sees it kind of a thing. But with an upload process like that, I don't want to see Brett's upload process and he doesn't want to see my upload process. So it has to be very specific to a user. If on a great article, I'm not going to go too in depth on what it takes to set it up other than just saying, it's nothing more than a setup here. It's a NuGet package that comes in, and then you're going to have, can everyone see that pretty well? This is good. And then these two lines right here, SignalR and then the script. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail there. The biggest thing to keep in mind is on the client side, we have this piece right here, which is basically just saying, give me some sort of hub. Then in your backend, as long as you implement this thing here, this is going to be available to you on the client side. The one kind of gotcha to that is this first part right here. It's uppercase U and it's a lowercase u here. That's really the only gotcha to this thing. At that point, and this is the biggest piece of anything that you take away from this is this is a unique identifier that identifies my process, not Brett's process back there or Kalia's process or anything else. So that gives me the ability to upload things, still get server-side processing coming back down, and know what's going on the server at that point. So as long as I use this when I communicate back up to the server, so for example, in this case, for an upload process, I can pass in that connection ID right here, and then I can create a hub, and at that point, use it further on down. Let's just say right here, for example, and I can say notify the tiling progress. This certain page is this much complete, and then that can come down to the client side, and then we can say use that stuff right here. So that's server side communicating back down to the client with just a single user. So in conclusion, if you ever have to worry about what's happening with the server side going, or with things happening on the server side, SignalR is still a really good option. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse, for that speech on SignalR and how it solves all your business problems. That looked very familiar to me. I've also worked on SignalR. I enjoy that technology immensely. All right, next thing we will do is introduce today's general evaluator. Today's general evaluator is Brett Esbrooks.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. All right. So before we do anything else, I'd like to quick grab your votes on best speaker. So if you could all bow your heads. For those of you who thought Clea's presentation was the best, please raise your hand. Okay, and for those who thought Jesse's was the best, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you very much. All right, with the voting out of the way, let's move right on to the evaluations. I know Alex has got a little bit of a time crunch, so will you please give us your evaluation of Clea?
Yeah, I'm going to give you evaluation. Well, overall, in principle, by and large, you made a very significant progress. So you go very well there. Your message, I believe, was understood by your audience, what your company did. So this was your kind of request besides evaluation. And number two, I would like to comment that you did manual speech. So please do manual speeches. It helps you, helps Evaluator, helps Quad. So project was using visual aids, yes? Overall, that was clear PowerPoint presentation. But how as a TechMaster and as a learned person from Paul Civetti, who gave us kick butt PowerPoint presentation, where several levels you can improve. I recommend you keep trying in next speeches, do this presentation with PowerPoint and do it gradually. For example, this one was good enough. Can it be better? Yes. How it can be better? For example, bigger fonts and less information, so it is more catchy. Next, add some animation, like for example, we do offensive security. It appears a check mark. We do defensive security, check mark. Something not overdoing it, but just bring it so to keep attention, because people has short attention span. They go to their devices. So if they see long text, small characters, they give up maybe on third slide. Again, that was very good presentation, clear message. Can it be improved? Yes, and I wrote my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Next up, evaluating Jesse's presentation will be Vince.
Thank you for your evaluator. Jesse, typically we have Thank you for a very nice talk. I thought it was a very cool topic. We've obviously heard it before, but at the same time, it's a cool topic. You can do a bunch of different things with Signal. And I thought that your introduction was really good. I thought that you really set the stage nicely. Not only, you gave us a window into why one would worry about this topic in the first place. It wasn't just, here's a cool new thing, not that there's wrong with that, I do that all the time, but here's a cool new thing, let's go take a look. And it's, here's why one would want to do that sort of thing. And not only did it make sense as to why one would want to use it, but you gave us a very real world example of when we need to actually address the thing. You kind of gave us a progression from having nothing to having something that was maybe a little bit inadequate for the customer's needs, but could be acceptable. In other situations, maybe it's something that they have to say. But with something where you're going to report on a whole bunch of things going on, and like, I don't know, maybe some architectural drawings being sent out, you really need the status updates on exactly what kinds of things are happening. Then maybe you might want to see a little bit more of a detailed report on these kinds of things that's happening. And so it was great to see from nothing to do something really amazing like that. And another really good thing that I noticed was you showed us sort of complicated code, but you didn't really try to walk us through. you cut through to the parts that were pertinent as far as if somebody wanted to do something that they want to play with not running it right now. My suggestion on that, while giving us all the background for something really super cool is great, when it comes to actually showing us code, it might be better, especially for a 5 to 7 minute talk, if you just showed us hello. You showed us the parts that were important, but we still had to go through 100 lines, so we had no clue what else. So that would have been the only real suggestion I would give as far as improving when it comes to trying to get people to interact. We get the great background about why someone want to do that. Really cool way of what an end result could be, but we get to see more of a nitty-gritty how to get started. Right now, I kind of walk away from it. What was the main part of how I told that? Other than that, thank you for a really good speech. Mr. General Guidance.
Thank you, Vince. All right, with the evaluations fresh in our minds, let's bow our heads one last time. Those who thought that Alex's evaluation of Clea was the best, please raise your hand. And those who thought that Vince's evaluation of Mr. Hooley was the best, please raise your hands. Okay, great. Thank you. Next, we move into the report section of the meeting, and I'd like to start off by calling up our impromptu timer to give us the timing and award the word picture of the day. If you have one, I'm not sure if you remember this award. It's been a while. It's for the best, visualization.
What's your?
Oh, sorry, grammar. You don't get this.
Okay, good.
That's generally better.
So, thank you, Brett, for the introduction. As a timer, both speeches were well within time. His was right at 5 minutes, almost exactly on the dot, and Jesse's was at 8 minutes and 27 seconds. For the evaluations, Vince's was at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and Alex's was at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So they're both right at that. Sort of forgotten anything else on that?
Table topics, did you get times on those?
Table topics
Just
were pretty much right on the dot. One person went a little long and I wasn't taking notes, so.
Thank you.
Forgot.
Remind me who is the grammarian today? Nick. That's right. Oh yeah, you weren't wearing the name. Okay. Can we please have the grammarian report? And then you get to give the pencil.
Sounds fair. All right. Okay, well, I think everybody did a good job. Well, actually, no, let me take it back. Everybody did a horrible job, except for 2 people. So in principle, it's a good idea to use the word of the day when it's written out there on the board. All right. But Vince, you did, so you're awesome. You're rock and roll. And Alex did when he did his evaluation of you, so he did. And you did, yeah, you did too. See, okay, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Okay.
You pretty good grammar should pay attention.
That's about 30% of people, that's above average, that what we normally get. All right, so as far as the odds and ums, so Matt, you had 1. Yes, well, you're not supposed to do it, because I'm doing it, and my bill is over there. I'm sorry, the reason I'm doing ums is because I'm trying to, Brian, okay, Brian, you had 2. Vince, I didn't count any. Leanne, she's gone because she has the most, so she left. She had 3. Alex had none, but he has an Oz. Clea, okay, here's an interesting one. You only had 1, but you have this. Okay, you like doing this. You like stretching out your arms and your legs, so it's kind of nice, but you might want to shorten them. And then. Jesse, you had 3, but this is what I observed. When you were typing on the computer, you tend to make more different sounds. Not just ahs and ahs, but you kind of like nose, and then it's just kind of like, yeah, maybe when you work on the computer, think that you're still making the presentation, don't focus on working the computer. And then you were clearing your throat, but I think that's just because you had a cold or something. And then again, Alex, but we already covered him. So with that, the word of the day. Oh, this is a difficult one. I should probably give it to Jim for making a great description of the spy, but you violated the copyright because that name is taken, so I can't really give it to you. So yeah, I guess it's not going to go anywhere. So.
Is there any nominations?
Any nominations?
I nominate Mike for his meaningless rant. It was pretty visual.
Let's do it, Mike.
Of the fifth void.
Speaking of meaningless rants, Table Topics Master, can you please give us the person who you thought was the best with our wide allowal?
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, it was interesting. We went from the whole yield sign of Agent U-turn, talking with Spy J-Jill at the water cooler in Northern California, but I really liked Liberty and Justice at 75 miles an hour. I mean, I thought that was just really something. However, the person who probably best answered this, I thought, Matt, you did a great job. Thank you.
Okay, so before I get into my evaluation, let's go ahead and hand out the awards. Who's gonna say it? You say it every time. Come on.
Evaluations are key.
Thank you, Paul, if you're watching. Today's best evaluator goes to Mr. Vince. Where's the evaluation?
And shake.
Thank you.
All right, and for the coveted Best Speaker Award, drum roll please. Today's Best Speaker is Leah. Thank you very much. All right, with the awards out of the way, I have a few notes on evaluation. This meeting was all in all pretty good. Time-wise, we're doing great. It's great to see Jim back. Nice to have two past members coming back to hopefully join the club. So that's great. Notes on the business meeting. I mentioned Mike's nonsense. It's always great. He can talk for hours about, I'm not sure what, but you must do this for a living. I don't know. So that was entertaining, and it does bring energy to a otherwise boring business meeting. Another note on the business meeting for Vince. You are President, Vince. Never ask if we should have a motion. You should know if we have a motion and force the motion. So it was a little bit of back and forth whether we should be having discussion or motion. So even if you're wrong, just be clear about it, I guess. Because you're the president, you do what you want, right? Use your executive order pen. Toastmaster today. Mr. William, very good job. Now, I did not see did you send out something to the group?
I did. Apparently, no one received.
When did you send it? I'm just curious.
Yesterday.
Okay. So now, if you ever read all the emails that Vince sends, try to do it early so we can all plan. Because I didn't check my mail this morning.
In my defense, my email says, I was wondering why there hasn't been any emails about the upcoming Toastmaster, and I find out it's you.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So you didn't know you were on the schedule?
I did not.
That's your defense.
My bad.
I think it's pretty good defense, though. I think the editor should be sent over.
I think in principle that should be,
In principle, yes, very good. But otherwise, I think you did a very good job. One thing I liked that you did was when you introduced Jesse, at first, I don't think you knew he was going to futz with this computer first, but you caught it. You started to walk this way, and I thought, okay, he's going to go sit down, and now what are we going to do? But then you came around and said, wow, Jesse's getting ready. So that was great because you were paying attention, even though you were kind of not expecting it. So that was good. A lot of people might just sit down and say, oh. So very good job there. Speeches, I thought were all very good. Jesse, I always enjoy looking at code. I do agree with Vince's criticism about distill it down. I mean, because what you were actually trying to give us was pretty simple, but the code was surrounded by a lot of not so simple. But other than that, it was really great. And it's clear that you're sick, so thank you for not canceling. That's always good. I probably would have canceled because I like to sleep when I'm sick. Clear, very good presentation. I enjoyed it. I did not know that you found a new job, so that's exciting. Other than that, I don't really have any other feedback. I thought the meeting was fun. It was good energy, and I like that our club's getting bigger and we have newer members. That makes things a little bit more exciting. So with that, I'll end my evaluation and I'll turn it back over to our Toastmaster, William Austin.
Toastmaster closing comments. Thank you, Brett, for your evaluation of my work thus far. I just want to say that prior to joining Toastmasters, I used to watch presentations and I would always nitpick and look where things went south because I always thought they were supposed to be perfect. And I've since learned that life isn't perfect and things do occur and problems do come up. And the best thing you can do is just roll with it. Have you all seen the presentation where they first showed the director who did, I always forget the name of this movie. Huh?
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
The Michael Bay freeze up when he was showing the Samsung. So it can happen to everybody. Best thing to do is just move on. But that's kind of a sad video to see, but it shows you that even the pros have difficulty. Next, I will present the Spark Plug Award. The Spark Plug Award goes to the person who showed the most energy today. That would be... Wow, I'm going to Brett. Next award is the Fuzzy Mouse. Fuzzy Mouse is given to the best explanation of a technical topic. Today, I'm going to award this to Jesse for his explanation of single R power stage. Last on the list is to turn it over to our president, Mr. Vince Bullinger.
Thank you, Will. Give another hand for our great Toastmaster, Will. Do we have any new business before we take off? How about any new announcements? Right.
Mr. President, all of the dues came in. Nick and William are the only stragglers, but we covered them. Well, actually, you still owe me a check. You're gonna get them. So thanks for getting me all the money, and we have a full roster list now, and I think we might be eligible for some award.
Great. No. And let's see here. Next week's, any other announcements? Next week's Toastmaster is Clea. So please, Clea, get an email out with a theme, hopefully before Monday afternoon, you know, this week, something like that.
Sunday evening.
And you know, and again, it's more of a. I think that the other email should be coming out earlier as well. But I do try to mention it at the end of our meetings. Just that last week I wasn't here, and I remember like the week before that, I'm like, next week's Toastmaster is not here. And yeah, luckily we have next week's Toastmaster here right now. So please try to think of a theme. Try to get that out, like I said, by Friday. And that should be good. Do we have a closing thought from our timer to end of the meeting? That's what we typically do, and we have them stand, and then they think or find something to say to finish off the day and send us on our merry way in an active, energetic fashion.
If you do that, you will either live up to, zero down, live up to, or down to your self-expectations.
Thank you, Jim. With that, I will adjourn the meeting.
I will allow you, I'm going to be out of town.
Yeah.
We are done.
You need to.
I'll need to update that next week.
Yeah.
Good job.